Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for each day that you have given us. We ask you to watch over us as we go into the affairs of the Cherokee Nation and make good and wise decisions. Please, dear Lord, watch over all of our loved ones who are in harm's way and bring them all back home safely to us. Help us all to deal with one another in a kind way and to have sympathy and empathy for others less fortunate than us, especially when we're going through this crisis of the economy. And all these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilor Fulbright. Madam Secretary, would you have a roll call, please?
Kara Kalanwa.
Ani.
Bill England.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Joe Crittenden.
Present.
Jody Fishenhawk. Here. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Tom Garvin. China Glory Jordan. Present. David Thornton.
Present.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Item number 1, we have a TERO Commission budget and staff proposal for discussion and possible action. Mr. Henry?
Yes, on your desk is a proposed amendment to Section 5, Title 40, Section 10 and 11. And the idea is, after talking with the results of last meeting and talking with other counselors, this is a outline for the TERO Commission.
Is that in our book, Tom?
No, I just handed it to you.
Look for a sheet of paper that says proposed amendments at the top.
If you don't have one, I have an extra. And I incorporated many of your ideas on the email that I received. The idea is that we're going to, what the proposal is a 5-member commission. The way that it's selected would be 2 members appointed by the council and approved by, or 2 members appointed by the council, 2 members appointed by the chief and approved by the council, and those 4 selecting a 5th member, which shall be confirmed by both the principal chief and the tribal council. We had debated back and forth between 5 members, 3 members, and it seemed to be the consensus that a 5-member commission is what would be desirable. Any questions about that? Okay. The term would be for a 4-year term unless removed from office by death, disability, or removed from office pursuant to the laws of the Cherokee Nation. Commissioners may remain in office until their successor is duly appointed and confirmed. That's a holdover clause that seems to work real well in some of these commissions when it's difficult to find find a replacement for it. Now, Councilperson Fishenhawk had suggested staggering these terms. So if it's desire of the commission to stagger those, that's also easily done. You just have, one have a 2-year term, a 3-year term, 4-year term, etc., until such time as they all have 4-year terms. So any discussion about whether do you just want a flat 4-year term with a holdover clause, or do you want a staggered term with a?
Yes, Mr. England.
I would suggest, I don't know how this would work, is do it like a school board where you have one actually goes off every year, and you do a 5-year term.
A 5-year term?
And that way you just have one off every year instead of 2 or whatever.
Okay.
And that'd be my recommendation.
All right.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that a second.
Do we have a second from Councilman Garvin? Or is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes,
Okay.
Councilman Baker.
How do you propose to set it up as a 5-year the first time? Appoint us one for 1 year and the chief one for 2 years, and then us do a 3-year and he do a 4-year, and the 5th one be the 5-year term, or something like that. Is that?
You could have like seats, like seat 1, 2, 3, and seat one would be for a 5-year? No, they don't, I don't know.
No, the appointed one has to be the 5.
May I suggest that I think you guys are talking about the same thing, so it just, we don't numerate the seats. We don't give them a designation.
But I'm just saying, in order to implement it the first time, I would guess maybe the council would appoint one person for 1 year. The chief would appoint somebody for 2 years. We'd appoint somebody for 3 years. The chief would appoint somebody for 4 years. And then the one they selected would be at the first 5-year term.
That'd be the
Is that a
most,
form of motion?
Yes.
Do I hear a second? Do I hear any discussion? All minds clear. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
okay. The next part would be, the TERO Commission shall receive a stipend in the amount of $300 per meeting. Further shall be paid mileage for attending TERO Commission meetings. With that figure has fluctuated also between $50 that was suggested and also $300 that was suggested. I just put it in here for the higher number for the purposes of debate. But also, one option is not to put the actual figure in your TERO legislation and just say that everyone's going to receive a stipend. And then, each year at your fiscal year budgeting, you will budget what the office should go for.
Yes, Councilwoman Jordan.
I would suggest that instead of 300 per meeting, we change to 300 per month.
That's a form of a motion.
Yes.
Second.
And that's seconds by Councilwoman Fishinghawk. Do I hear any discussion? Councilman Baker.
Yeah, the discussion is that's probably a good idea. I don't like leaving it blank, and I don't like appropriating each year because that lends to getting PO'd at the board or whatever and saying, well, we're only going to give them, $20 this year. And I think if we want to do it, we need to just come up with a deal, and then at some later date, if we think it needs to be raised, just raise it, but take the politics and retribution and everything out of it.
If Councilman Buzzard.
I want to just talk about Councilor Jordan's motion about the 300 a month. What's going to happen if we get this commission going and they have to meet 5 times a month? And the people who are not going to want to come to those meetings, could we put up to 3 meetings a month, 2 meetings a month? Are we going to cause some confusion on the motion?
Please.
Could we just start with the 300 a month, and if we see a need to raise it at the appropriate time? Because I think that's what we've done. I think our other commissions, our committees are on a monthly basis. And if we see their workload increases, I would assume that we would want to pay them to come to the meetings.
Well, I would be agreeable with that, and I think it may be covered where we can claim mileage at those meetings too.
Yeah.
We may be all right. So I would, yeah, that's fine.
I just didn't want them to meet 30 times a month.
Right.
I didn't want it to leave us open for abuse, which I don't think they would anyway.
Councilman Buzzard, did you have any other questions?
No, I'm fine with that. Just leave it
Councilman
like
Baker.
that.
Would you consider it friendly to 300 a month and $50 a meeting? That way, if they have to have 3 meetings in any given month, if they go on the national TERO deal where they're gone for 3 days, it'd be $50 a day.
While she's pondering that, Councilwoman Fulbright.
This is up for discussion, so I'm going to say that 13 years ago, when I was appointed to the Gaming Commission, that's what we were getting, was $300 a month, and $300, I don't know what all the other commissions are getting, seems awfully low to me. And I know people that was serving with us, some of them was on REC boards and GRDA and different things, and they said they received so much per day if they had to go on a trip and be away from their job. I'm just wondering if 300 a month is a little bit low for this day and age.
I'm going to go ahead because I've been trying to let the committee talk first, but I originally proposed only $50 a meeting flat with mileage because we're under budget constraints, and I was concerned about, we don't know, it's an unknown at this point what kind of budgetary impact. And so, and I may be lowballing them. I can appreciate that. That's what I'm hearing from the committee. But we don't even know if we have the budget finances available to finance what we're asking for. And although I am from a party politically mainstream that is considered big government traditionally, I don't know that we should create government to create government. And this is kind of the fear of how we, not only the responsibilities that they're given, but also the financial impact to our budget. So I want to caution all of us, even though I support making sure that they're financially given the proper, that we don't create something we can't fund. So, Councilman Thornton, did you have a comment?
Yes, she was talking about too low. I think it's too low. In 1997, I was wanting to see an Eagle, and we received $250 a month. Now I think they get $50,000 a year, over $4,000 a month. So I think $30 a month wouldn't be much extra, plus travel.
Okay. Was that your only comment?
Mm-hmm.
Councilman England and then Councilman Baker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My only comment is I like Councilman Baker's idea of the $300 flat fee, and then if they meet more than one time a month, then they would be compensated for like $50 for each meeting. And I don't believe they would abuse it, but there could be times when they could meet 2 or 3 times a month. And so I think the flat fee is $300. I like that idea, and I think the $50 per meeting plus their travel. I just want to throw that out. I would agree with that.
I would like to accept his friendly amendment.
Okay, but Councilman Baker was next, and then we'll.
And the other point is, if we go to the commission, I am convinced that they will raise more than enough budget in the fees and fines. And I mean, if they get out there and they do their job, then I think it will generate a great deal of money if they really, hopefully they won't, but I'm convinced they will.
Okay, so housekeeping, because our secretary had to step out. So Councilwoman Jordan made the motion for a $300 flat monthly stipend for those commissioners. And then, of course, it kept it the same. They would have mileage to and from the town meetings. Councilwoman Fishinghawk seconded. I guess there's been a friendly amendment that's going to be accepted by both of you, so please clarify what you're accepting.
I think it would read, the TERO commissioner shall receive a stipend in the amount of $300 per month plus $50 per meeting after the first meeting of the month. Does that incorporate your friendly amendment?
Mr. Embry, is your mind clear so you can?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hearing, is there any other discussion? Are all minds clear?
One other point we may cover. I didn't see anything in here about training. Would that, you mentioned something about training. I was almost about to.
I think every day would be a meeting. In other words, I think if they went to a 4-day training, I think it would pay mileage plus $200 for that meeting. I mean, for that training. If I'm, at least that's the way I can treat it.
Are all minds clear? Okay, hearing no other further discussion, we're going to vote on the amendment that it's changed to $300 flat per month, and all meetings after the first meeting would be an additional $50 per meeting. And Councilman England, yes?
Yes, I have one more. Should we require them to go to the TERO convention once a year? Because that's really a good thing that they have at TERO. I mean, it brings all the tribes together with all their TERO ideals and everything.
Is that I think maybe can you bring that back up in the form of a motion here after we clear this one? Okay. Councilman Baker? Okay, so hearing no other discussion pertinent to this motion on the floor, we're going to call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That passes unanimously. Now, Councilman England.
I'd like to put this in a form of motion that we require each commissioner to at least attend one yearly TERO meeting.
I have a question. So, and require each commissioner to attend each year or just once in 5 years? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know, we need to guard against kind of, I won't say micromanaging the commission, but, you know, we can require that they have X hours of training. I don't think there's any other commission where we say you have to attend a specific conference, you know. But, you know, or you know, lawyers have to have 12 hours of CLE, et cetera. We could require that they have so many hours of training per year, but I don't know, I might hedge against actually saying you got to attend this conference.
Okay, if we're going to finish today, like I'd hope, we're going to have to keep moving. So do you have alternate language you want to?
We could do it like at least one TERO convention in their term. Would that work?
I don't think we can require based on what he said. So maybe we should just have language that says that appropriate training would be paid for by the tribe.
I was going to suggest.
Okay. Hold on. So, Councilman England, you want to withdraw at this time for a moment?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to suggest that at least one commissioner attend the TERO meeting. He can report back to us.
There you go.
I'll offer that as an amendment.
Okay.
If
So.
it's my motion, I would accept that.
Okay. We'll do that. Did you get that, Madam Secretary? So we have that motion. It's been seconded by Councilman Garvin. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Aye.
What's the exact?
There was two of us. It was that at least one TERO commissioner attend the annual conference and report back to the commission. Okay, then we had Councilman Hoskins and we had Councilman Thornton. Okay.
I would just want to make a comment that every local school board member has to attend at least one conference every year of 8 hours. So, you know, there are boards out there that have to go to school. You know.
And I think Councilman Thornton's opinion, or not opinion, but
Too late to worry about it.
I know, but where this is still, I think that's the point of what Henry was trying to talk about, was that we could require hours, but we couldn't require exactly what they were going to go do. So, yes, Councilman Baker.
Yeah, and the truth is, the board might go to one TERO deal and have all the fun things stand, and because if you've been before, the majority of them are geared toward smaller tribes and reservation tribes. And it's really, I mean, I went to one year when we were the presenters, and they were looking at us like they didn't understand. And I'm sure that our guys could go to one and wouldn't understand the reservation, because it's completely different. I mean, it's, you know, TERO ought to be real easy on the reservation. But in Indian country, like we know it, with the checkerboard and thin bloods and, you know, the whole deal, it's just not the same. And I don't know that I would want to go to the TERO convention year after year after year and be required to go to it. I just don't know you'd get much out of it.
Thank you. Okay, so we're on our next item. We've settled payment. There's meetings.
Yes, that's just general language there that They shall meet monthly in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, or other such locations deemed or determined by the TERO Commission, and that they can call special meetings when they deem appropriate to carry out the functions of their
Yes,
office.
Councilwoman Fishing Hawk.
Todd, this is the one I wanted to change where it says they need to meet monthly in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, because I don't want them to start meeting into Tuesday. But we didn't get that on the changes.
Okay, well, they said that, what do you want to add?
I don't know, have them meet monthly in Tahlequah here at the council.
Is that a motion, Councilwoman Fishing
Yes.
Hawk? Do I hear a second?
Second.
So strike, or at
Motion is, it
80.
hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
So, is there any discussion on this?
I think the reason that, or other such location as determined by TERO Commission, say they're doing a job in Bartlesville, and really they need to meet that day, and it would make more sense to meet out on the job site for them. Instead of coming here to telephone. That's the reason I think that was in there. Or you can say they had a big job going on down at Salisaw, and it made more sense to meet in Salisaw.
Anything else, Councilman Buzzer?
No, they didn't.
Councilman Garvin?
Todd, who has authority to call a meeting?
Well, it would be the majority of the commission. That'd probably be in their policies and procedures.
It doesn't state that.
Well, no, see, but in an act, you can't legislate everything about a commission. You're going to have to allow these commissions to develop their own, policies and procedures. Otherwise, you're going to have, a TERO Act 3 inches thick. But TERO would be a public body underneath the Cherokee Nation, and we have our Freedom of Information Act, which that has meeting requirements in there that you have to post the agendas and who can call them, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of that's covered by that act.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Garvin. Councilman Thornton?
On these tribal members shall be citizens of the Cherokee Nation. Would these people be able to work for the Cherokee Nation also if they're working for Cherokee Nation? Couldn't they lose more?
Councilor Hembry, is there anything in our other laws that would preclude it, or this would allow us to appoint our own employees? I read it that it would allow us to appoint our own employees, but...
Well, there's no prohibition, it's, the requirement for the office is to be citizens of the Cherokee Nation. Now, if you want to put a restriction on there, like the Election Commission has, the Election Commission cannot have any other contact or job with the Cherokee Nation. So if you want to add that, we need to go back up there and add that.
Well, I was just thinking about the CNI board. They have an employee that sits on that board.
The employee rep.
Or a rep.
Yeah.
So, or is that a motion that you want to preclude employees?
No.
Okay. Anything else?
I just want to know if they're included.
Okay. So, hearing nothing else, so we have Councilwoman Jordan.
I do want to make a motion that it not be employees. I thought we weren't going to have employees on this.
Me and Todd talked about that, and I think that's what it changed.
Do I hear a second? Councilwoman Fishing Hawk seconded.
What?
No employees.
I didn't recall, I didn't remember talking about prohibition on employees, but, it's easily done.
Okay, so any questions or concerns about that? Hearing none, all those in favor of precluding employees of Cherokee Nation and its entities, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Note that it was Councilman Thornton and Councilman Crittenden. Okay, so Councilwoman Jordan, was that your only issue? Because you have two other council people still waiting.
On the E on meetings, I know there's a motion on the floor that the meetings be held monthly in Tahlequah. I think Harley's got a good point that they may need to meet at other locations. Could we have them meet at those other locations as special meetings? Because they're probably going to be addressing a special problem. And I don't know, Todd, how we write that, but I would ask you make the motion, a friendly amendment.
I'll look. I'm confused because it already reads that way as what we've got.
Well,
Well,
no, the way it reads now is they could take their regular meeting and go elsewhere. I would like their regular meeting to be in Tahlequah, but if they need a special meeting to address a specific problem somewhere else within the 14 counties, well, we want them to be able to go there and call that a special meeting.
Okay, so you and your second accept that as a friendly amendment.
Well, she made the motion, so I guess I'm asking if you'd accept that.
Okay. Councilman Thornton, and I still have Councilman
So-
Baker, so.
So,
Okay.
so these citizens, do they live within the Indian country? I mean, are we going to put somebody on there from California or
At this point, it could be
New Mexico or?
someone from out of state.
Okay, and you gotta make sure you get to have travel for them.
I think that comes in our power to approve and nominate and confirm. Okay, so we have a motion on the table. Are all minds clear about the idea that it has to be in Tahlequah each month, regardless of what the commission thinks, right? And then they have to, special meetings could be anywhere else. Councilman Garvin?
I just wanted to see what the motion was.
Okay, so are all minds clear now?
Do we have Todd read us the wording?
yes, the intent of the motion is to require at least a monthly meeting in Tahlequah. So therefore, it would say, the TERO Commission shall meet monthly in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and then you would strike, or at other such locations determined by the TERO Commission. Additionally, the TERO Commission shall call special meetings deemed appropriate to carry out the functions of their office. Said meetings can be, such other meetings shall be held at locations determined by the TERO Commission.
All minds clear? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Thornton, aye.
Yeah, we agree.
Okay, so, moving on, hopefully quickly, we have F, staff. And we don't, I think everybody has it in front of them, so we don't need to read it. Are all minds clear on the staff provision?
The intent of it is to have the TERO Commission to hire their executive director or whatever title, and to report actually to them.
Okay, hearing no amendments, we'll move on because we'll accept it in toto at the end with all the amendments. On G, hearings, is everybody clear on this? Yes, Councilman Thornton.
I don't know about G. Is this commission going to have to report to this body once a year or twice a year or something like that?
This body, it's here for us to mold this and create this, so
Okay.
it's taken us approximately 8 months to get this much on paper, so I'd appreciate everybody's giving their input today. So,
Are we gonna wrap this up today? Is that what we're gonna hurry?
well, I was hoping, but I don't think it's going to be possible today, because we should have had a lot of this work done before, so.
Brian Kelly looked at this.
It's all been open and available,
I just
so
wondered
they
if
know
you
they
got any input from,
I haven't talked to her.
yeah,
I have not.
oh,
We've asked her for input,
Yeah.
and this is where we're at, so. Diane Kelly. Okay, so G, is there any amendments or discussion or additions? H is appeals. Any decisions of the TERO Commission shall be appealed and to Administrative Appeals Act of the Cherokee Nation. Councilman Jordan?
I would like to make a motion that we table this for just 1 month and that we do have Diane Kelly, who's over TERO now, just take a look at it.
That's fine. But it takes a motion of the body and a vote. Okay, so we have a second from Councilman Baker. All those in favor for tabling it 1 month, just this portion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Add me in there on the nays with that.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
we will send her a finished copy of what we've done here today.
Yes.
Okay. And it will be on next month's, so,
If we have time, I think our agenda is pretty crazy next for our scheduled meeting schedules and stuff, so I will do my best, but we may not be able to meet next month. And again, if people would do work outside of the committee to bring it forward, I think we can continue to move this, but sorry to express my frustrations a bit as the chair, but anyway. Okay, so item number 2, how to strengthen TERO legislation. Counselor Jordan, did you have anything else you wanted to add beyond what you added last time?
this is pretty well what we were talking about last time.
So you're satisfied about implementation of TERO at this point if we continue on this
If we
track?
continue on this track, I like what we're seeing. I really wouldn't mind passing this today, except I don't want to just spring it on the branch of government that's now taking care of TERO without them having even looked at it.
I'll tell you from my perspective, nothing has been sprung on them, and I've tried to communicate frequently with the executive branch, so. Okay, moving on from item number 2, hearing no action or additional discussion, we have item number 3, definition of discretionary funds. I believe Councilor Thornton, we missed you at a meeting, and we weren't sure what you wanted, your intent for discretionary funds. Do you have anything, or Hembry, did you have a chance to?
Well, I mean, I've talked with Doug as to what definition of discretionary funds is, and that would be basically, if I recall, the idea is, we wanted to have a body or pool of money that we could use for Cherokee preference instead of just Indian preference, and whether that was, because we do know that there are some federal funds in here that we wouldn't be able to do pure Cherokee preference was. Now, that discretionary funds is exactly what it is. General fund money. It's money that the TERO would collect, in fines and penalties. Is that correct, Doug?
Yeah, tribal funds that are all sourced from the tribe, and the determination of use and purposes will be determined by the tribe without influence from outside the government.
Okay, so let me just make sure I understood. So Councilman Thornton is advocating that anything that's labeled discretionary funds generated under TERO would be only used for Cherokees. Is that what that is?
That's my understanding of.
No, so that's not specified in the law now, and you have a language to present to us on that, or is that?
Well, there is, throughout the amendment process, we have taken steps to delete Indian and put in Cherokee. Now, and this is something that's really going to be towards the administration of TERO, is to make sure that you keep those those pots of money separate. But if it's the intent of the council to actually implement a pure Cherokee preference as opposed to an Indian preference type situation.
So since we're going to meet in March, will you have that specific language, if there's a need to address that, presented in writing for us to vote up yea or nay on?
Yes, ma'am.
I got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
When you look that up, did you look up self-determination funds, the funding that comes through our self-determination? Because I've heard other tribes talk about using it.
Okay. Okay.
Councilman Anglin.
Is there any way, and I don't know how you do this, can we go back and undo my motion a while ago and do the, I don't know how you do this, but you undo what I did, and we do it sort of what Councilman Thornton said, where we require 8 hours of training a year.
May I suggest to you, just because we're about to come into Speaker Fraley's meeting,
Right.
so that's been tabled till next March in our next meeting, and if you will have that wording ready for us to pass and work with Councilor Hembry, then we'll have that amended at that time when it's brought forward in March. Yes, Councilor.
Will we be today, or will we have time to address the concern about the late payments to the vendors from Cherokee Nation?
No, and that was part of my sense of urgency because we're at the end and there were several items, and that should all be passed at once and sent forward as a package because we should have done a lot more work outside this committee, unfortunately. So, and due to our late start, but unless we just do it as a standalone, and I know Council or Speaker Fraley had put that forward, so Councilman, would you like to put that forward as a motion just to the standalone on the?
I'm not a member of this committee, but I'd be glad to make that motion that we.
Oh, I thought you were a member of the committee.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Thank you.
And that is just
That one section to go. In fact, I would ask that we consider.
Section 26, hold on just a minute, so it's Section 26, Title 4, 1051. And the pages are not numbered, but they'll be numbered next time.
Madam Chair, I would also recommend, Councilor Jordan, that you label that particular section as prompt payment.
So that is Section 26, Title 4, 1051, and now labeled prompt payments, because I saw nods that everybody accepted. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, under Section 26, Title 40, 1051, prompt payments to be sent separately from this committee to rules, which would then go into the March council meeting for immediate action separate from the work of this subcommittee, or as part of the work of this subcommittee. Are all lines clear? Now, is this language, let's take a moment because we've got a few minutes if you'll indulge us. So, because this is a big, significant change in how we do business today, unfortunately, versus how we should be doing it. And so, there are interest penalties that not only our vendors could incur, such as our general contractors on jobs, but also the tribe could incur these interest penalties if the prompt payment is not made. So it could have a budgetary impact. So if everybody is comfortable with that, I see no request. So all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. So, Madam Secretary, just that section will be sent forward, and Hembry will need to get that to us in the form of an act, the proper papers for rules in March, and then to full council. At this time, who would like to be, and today's deadline?
End of February.
Yeah, do you want this sent to the February rule? Because,
Yes, you're correct.
February rule, so we will
Clarify.
put that on the agenda today.
Madam Secretary, or Madam Speaker, I believe this was your, so I assume you'll want to sponsor that?
I'd be glad to, just so these boys can get paid.
I would really like to be a co-sponsor, and I think there's other people. So is there anybody that doesn't want to be a co-sponsor? I assume everybody on this subcommittee that's here today, plus, and make sure that the Madam Speaker is listed as the primary sponsor. We'll put that forward. Thank you. Okay, we have other stuff, but it's time to adjourn. So right here, before we take that, we need a motion to table this until next month, the amendments.
I move to table the amendment for next month.
With a second from Thornton. All those in favor of tabling, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Do you hear a motion to adjourn? Garvin seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Speaker Fraley, how quickly would you like them?
5 minutes.
Okay.
That's fine.
We are adjourned.